So today we are into our Skull Caverns phase of the run, or at least the beginning of it. So I think we'll have probably one day of an okay run before we get like the equipment we need and stuff like that, and then another day of maybe a smoother Caverns run if our luck is good. And so I just took out all my plants outside. Well, all the like cold weather tolerant plants to kind of get them ready for planting this weekend. And so I got a little bit of time to kill, like basically before I have to bring them back inside again. You have to like slowly ease them into the real world. Anyway, I got some time to kill, so we might as well get into it. Hopefully this will be the last like funky voice video, and then we'll be back into normal territory and maybe another couple weeks of the relaxed playthrough and then into the hard mode. And a lot of today, or at least this morning in game, is just burning time until we can get on the bus, and then we'll buy the warp totems so that going forward we don't have to worry about it. And so we're just gonna like clean up a little bit and just kind of run around. There's no point in like, I don't know, starting anything major or like getting our field ready, because we won't plant anything in the field until the last day. And we mostly have everything we need from spring, at least for now. And I'm gonna bring like a little bit of everything with me just to try and keep my inventory managed, like, or not managed, but yeah, I guess managed, because I always end up with like a really messy inventory in the Skull Caverns, especially in times like right now when I don't have a very big backpack. And that'll kind of be our biggest challenge early on, is like navigating which items we want to keep and deciding like what's worth saving, what's worth trashing. And our only real goals today are, well, I guess like floor 100 would be really nice, but it's not important. The only thing I really care about is getting a prismatic shard so I can get a galaxy sword. Because like you'll get absolutely destroyed by enemies here if you don't have a very good sword or hammer or whatever it might be. And then I also stocked up on spicy eel and coffee, of course, because it's important to go fast. I feel like most of the time I die is because I can't move away from stuff fast enough, so I don't know. I'm trying to avoid that, even though we get off to like a really awful start here. Like right away we have a serpent bothering us. And the bone sword, while I do like it, it just isn't, like, yeah, this is such a bad situation. Like, I'm really surprised that I actually made it out of this. It's a good sword, but it's just not as good as the galaxy sword. It's fast, but like the knockback would be nicer for those particular enemies. But at least we found a hole to jump in. So like, I don't know, it's a mixed start, but it's better than nothing. And I'll show you like a little bit of it, of how like the beginning of this run is gonna go. I think we had star drop luck, so that explains why we have so many like decent nodes, and why we're finding ladders and pits so fast. But yeah, I'm not hoping for anything amazing. Like I don't think we'll go home with like more than 100 iridium. We don't have a very good pickaxe, so we're gonna exhaust ourselves pretty rapidly. It'll probably be another couple days before we can afford to upgrade to a gold pickaxe, and then even longer before we bother with an iridium one. We might not do an iridium one until maybe like the second or third week of summertime, if even that. It is nice to have, but it's not significant. And just, I don't know, we missed that early gold upgrade, so well, I guess we got a new sword. I think it's a Falchion. Or Falchion, I'm not sure how you say it. Falchion? I don't know, it's a better sword. But it's still no Galaxy Sword. But at least it knocks him back a little bit further and does a little more damage. We only have, 20 some chubs, so food shouldn't be an issue yet. Maybe it will be by the next couple days. I end up with kind of a predicament here where I don't want to go. Oh, by the way, I skipped to this way later in the day right here. But I don't want to go back really early so I can go to the saloon and buy salads. But I also don't want to delay starting until really late in the day so I can buy salads when the saloon opens at noon. So our food supply is going to be limited for a little while. But I don't think it'll be a massive problem by any means. And so we did get a prismatic shard. And floor 77 so far isn't too terrible for a first day. So I'm pretty happy with that. Even though floor 100, since it's a guaranteed chest, is a really nice goal for these early runs. It's not imperative that we get it. What's more important is that we get a lot of diamonds, so we can always have 3 espressos every single day. And this is probably a waste of a staircase. It's pretty late in the day to be using a staircase when there isn't much chance of us getting to any significant floor. And we're just sort of burning resources at this point. We won't have explosive ammo until, level... Is it level 9? I think it's level 9 combat. And we won't be using any staircases until then. So I kind of stay in a resource saving state in these early runs, just so I don't burn through all my coal and I don't burn through all my stone when I can't really make a great run out of it yet. Once we have the slingshot and explosive ammo, we'll be able to easily get down 300 floors instead of 100, and the iridium quantities at that rate, or at that level of mines, is so much better. But here we are, I don't know, we got the sword. So that should mean our next visit will be really good. I think we'll go tomorrow, but if our luck isn't good, then we won't bother. I know normally we'd have a harvest tomorrow, but, if our caverns... Well, shoot. No, we're good. No, I don't know. Because if we have a harvest tomorrow, we need to replant. So that would take out some time. So if we harvest, we won't go to the caverns. We'll see how it works. I don't really necessarily have to harvest that crop until the end of the year. It doesn't actually matter. As long as I harvest it on the 27th, so I can build sprinklers on the 28th, we're fine. Because I was thinking we had to replant, but we don't have to replant. We just have to... Oh yeah, okay. So good luck. We don't have to replant. We can harvest anytime. I'm stressing myself out for no reason. So, yeah. We'll harvest the stuff anytime. We'll just do it tomorrow. It doesn't matter. And today will be we'll get a couple extra bombs just because our luck is pretty high and we need money. And other than that, we're just going to rush down. I do want to get some more stuff smelting because we'll need those sprinklers sooner than later. I also need a lot more furnaces. I should be running 35 or 40 furnaces right now. And so 5 is pretty low. But again, I don't need that stuff until the end of the month. So the pressure is pretty low. I am really worried that I'm going to forget about my plants. It won't in the back, because I've mentioned I was, I guess it's called hardening off. I think it's hardening them off. Today they're going out for 4 hours, and this is around when I usually start forgetting I put them out there. Because I'll start at like 1 hour, then 2 hours, then 4 hours, then like 6 hours, and then a full day, and then we're into full day and night eventually. But it's around now that I usually forget that I have them out there. So I'm a little worried about that. I think I have a timer set, but I don't know, theoretically I might forget why I have a timer set, I guess. So I'm like pre-worrying about stuff that I don't even know what will happen, or things that I don't even know if they'll happen yet, so it's kind of useless worrying. Anyway, I skipped ahead again, and we got to floor 100 by 720, which is pretty decent. Normally, you'd probably want to be at 100 by around noon or so, on like a really solid run, when you're fully equipped with like bombs and all that stuff. But it kind of just depends on how you play. I know a lot of people don't like the caverns, or they get stressed out by them, or just aren't very good at it necessarily. So it all just depends on how you play. But I like to be down to 100 by noon. That's usually like, it's kind of that's something I'll usually gauge a reset by. And then obviously if I use staircases, I want to be at floor 100 by 8 a.m., but it just depends on what you're doing. I don't know what our iridium numbers are looking like. I mean, we're over 100, we're upwards of 200, so we should easily be able to afford all of our seeds. We might have to sell a couple gems or prismatic shards, but we're looking good. I've kind of, since I've made it, I decided to make it a rule that I'm only going to go to the caverns on really good luck days. It'll probably cut my money really short. Like, I'm going to do the one neutral day to show how poorly they perform. But it'll open up my like schedule a lot to do other stuff, which is really nice. And it will also make this playthrough go by pretty quickly, I think, since I won't be spending like every waking hour inside of this cavern. Because I know that can be one of the most tiring things, especially in like winter time. If you don't do any winter seeds, you end up kind of fatiguing yourself on the caverns, because it's like the only thing you can do in the wintertime. Either like friendship or deep dive the mines. Like, I almost wish there was like a different version of the game that didn't have caverns. Like different ways to acquire copper, iron, and iridium and all that without having to go into the mines, or at least like not have like I don't know, make it not as fantastical, Like I don't want to fight mummies. Like I'd rather just like go to the mines and like mine stuff and have it slightly more realistic, I guess, which is kind of a weird demand or desire. But I don't know, sometimes I just want to be like a farmer and not like a dude who also fights off ghosts and goblins. And I guess like Harvest Moon was the same way, I think, wasn't it? I never really got too deep into those games, but I'm pretty sure they had a mine system. Or at least some sort of... Yeah, I think they did. I don't know if they had enemies, but I know they had some sort of mineral gathering situation. That may have been just the later games, but still. I'm sure there's some kind of casual farming game out there with no combat. And that's not as realistic as like a actual farming simulator. Which does seem, I don't know, that seems kind of fun to me. Like the farming simulator games where you like are literally driving a tractor around to like till the land and then set seed and stuff. I think that would be kind of fun to play. It's kind of a bizarre... I don't know, it's a bizarre reality we're in, where like people play that stuff for fun. Whereas like, as I would be playing my farming simulator someone else is like literally just doing that as a job because they have to. It's a weird world. It's like that game, there's a game called Papers, Please. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but you're basically like a border patrol agent in a made-up country that's kind of echoes like Soviet Russia, and your job is to like spot people with ulterior motives or spot, fake passports and stuff like that. And it's just a very bizarre game that like, I know like part of the point of the game is to be a social commentary sort of thing, but it's a weird reality we live in. So, I don't know. I don't see what floor we ended up. I kind of stopped looking. Just kind of watching shapes go by. But we did alright. Almost 300 iridium. And we did get 2 iridium sprinklers, which is really nice. That saves us batteries, and that saves us everything else, so. And I believe we also got enough mining in to get us level 10 mining. And that means we can start selling our iridium bars. And so we really want to amp up our smelting and start getting a lot of iridium going overnight and while we're away. And in the meantime, or in between that, we'll do gold, silver, and the refined quartz. So our plan is looking good, even though it's kind of a loose plan. Everything seems fine. We're getting decent caves. Like, our luck has been off the charts. It would have been nice. I should have left that apple and waited until a day when it would produce me double apples. But, hindsight is 20/20, I suppose, and it's not that big of a deal. Oh, we got Scout is usually what we'll go for. It's a little bit better. I like to have like the faster charge attacks. Oh, and we didn't get 10. That's okay. We still want to amp up our production because we'll get 10 the next time we jump in the caverns probably. The mining levels go really, really fast once you're in the caverns and using bombs, so. Yeah, so we'll be making some money soon. And I will be back again next time whenever this goes up. See ya.